another titillating episode of the Brain Ladle Trivia
Always like
Podcast.
that word.
You didn't like titillating? Tantalizing?
I do like that word.
Oh, you do?
No, I like titillating.
Okay.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, it is a tantalizing and exciting episode of the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast. I am your ebullient host, Davo. It's cold up here. You know, it's cold right now, and I'm a little sniffly. I'm a little congested.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's cold. My dog didn't even want to take a walk today.
Oh, that's cold.
It was cold.
Oh, that's cold.
He walked around the block and then walked straight back to the front door and is like, I'm done with this.
It was like 50 degrees today, wasn't it?
We went out a little later in the day, so it was more like 40.
Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, it's Arkansas, so we're not exactly used to the super duper cold. So any listeners we may have in climates that are not in the South, forgive us. We don't usually deal with super duper cold, but once or twice a year. Neil, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here.
How's everything going for you, Kels?
Man, I cannot complain at all, really, right now. I'm feeling good.
Well, you could complain.
I could, but who would really listen?
I don't know. I tune you out most of the time anyway.
See? Point proven. But I'm feeling great.
So for everybody out there, I want to give a little inside slice on how podcasts work. See, you speak into a microphone and you record it and you upload it and people download it and listen. Pretty simple. But people can download us and listen to us all over the world. And we get that information. Right, Neil?
We do.
And we've done some analytics to see who's listening to us and how many people. And we love each and every one of you, by the way. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And it turns out that we're kind of a thing in Australia. You know, I'm not saying we're super duper huge, but there's a fair chunk of our audience from Australia. So I thought I would ask questions about Australia.
That sounds awesome.
All right. That's fair.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for question one?
Well, wait. Are we going to be translating from English to Australian on the fly, or are we just going to assume that they can understand us?
Well, I thought when you uploaded it translated from English to Australian.
That may be what.
So kind of Star Trek-y.
I think it handles it on the back end, so our neighbors in Australia can enjoy our show as is.
Awesome.
So it's like Han and Chewie almost.
Yes.
We don't see the magic happening. We just know that we understand each other.
That's exactly right.
Whoa.
That is exactly the way it is.
All right. That's the most accurate I'm going to be this evening, so I'm very happy about that.
So I think for accuracy's sake, to make sure everything's above board, Neil, you need to explain the rules.
Well, every week we have a theme, and within that theme, we've got 6 categories with 4 questions each. Each question is worth 10 points, with maybe a bonus thrown in for good measure here and there. And then a final question where we can wager any or all of our points. That's it.
Excellent. Well, my first category that I want to challenge you guys with is some basics about Australia. Basic Australian knowledge. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Question 1 is as basic as it gets. I want you to spell Australia.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Well, let's go with Kels. Spell Australia.
Australia. Australia. Australia.
Neil, spell Australia.
Australia.
You are both correct. I didn't even have to use it in a sentence or tell you the part of speech. You guys are amazing. 10 points for each of you. Now, this question is kind of a joke question. It's almost like a bonus 10 points for you guys. It's very easy. I give this question because in my research, I found out that there's a lot of people out there apparently who misspell Australia by putting the I before the L, like Australia.
Hmm.
Really?
Yeah, it's a relatively common misspelling from what I was able to glean. So I wanted to see if you guys were on it, and you are. 10 points for each of you. Question 2
right.
is not going to be that easy. What is the capital of Australia?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Neil?
Canberra.
Kels?
Ooh, I wrote Sydney.
The correct answer is Canberra.
I feared that.
You should have, because your answer was incorrect.
I got that the first time. Thank you.
Oh, I don't need to re-emphasize that your answer was indeed incorrect.
No, not at all.
I thought the correct
Keep
answer was
digging,
Canberra,
though.
not Sydney.
The correct answer is Canberra.
Oh, so Kels got it wrong?
He did.
Okay, just clarifying.
Man, I'm glad I'm trained in boxing. I'd love to share. I love to share with you what I've learned.
Question number 3. Australia is made up of 6 states and 2 territories. For 1 point each, name these states and territories. If you successfully name all 8, I will give you 2 bonus points.
Locked in.
Oh shit! I thought of something. I don't know if this is right. All right, I'm done fooling myself. I'm locked in.
You're done fooling yourself.
Pretty much.
Okay. So are you both locked in?
Yes.
Locked in.
So Australia has 6 states. I'm going to read them out. Sing out if you got them.
All right.
New South Wales.
Got it.
Got it.
Queensland.
Got it.
Got it.
South Australia.
Got it.
Actually got it.
Tasmania.
Yes.
Got it.
Victoria.
Yes.
Don't got it.
Western Australia.
Got it.
Got it.
And the 2 major mainland territories that it has are the Australian Capital Territory.
Got it.
Is that also known as East Australia by chance?
No.
No.
All right, I don't got it.
And the Northern Territory.
Is the Northern Territory called North Australia?
I don't know. It's called Northern Territory.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have that one either.
Okay. So how many do you have, Kels?
I have 5.
5 points for you. How many do you have, Neil?
I got all 8.
That would be 10 points for you. Congratulations.
Yay, Neil.
I love Australia.
Did you grow up there too?
No, I've never been. I've read a few books about it, though.
Oh, I'm in for a doozy today.
Bill Bryson, I've talked about some of his books before. He did a book called In a Sunburned Land is what it's called. And it's all about some travels that he made in Australia. It's pretty interesting.
Australia is amazing. I've always wanted to go. So if any of our listeners want to, throw some money at the Patreon, we'll come and do a live show at your house.
It's up for a couple days, a little airfare. I don't have to fly. I don't have to fly for class.
No. We can do business. We'll slum it a bit. Question number 4, the last question in Australian basics. Question 4 in Australian basics. Australia is a nation and a continent unto itself, so it's got to be big. Within 500,000 square miles, how big is it? And for 2 bonus points, where does Australia rank on the list of the 10 largest countries on Earth in terms of total area?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Kels.
I said 3,700,000 and 3,700,000 square feet. Square miles.
Okay. And
I bet
And
Walmart's bigger than that.
I just guess sixth
okay.
because six was Dr. J's number.
I like your reasoning. Neil?
So I'm a little ways away from Kels. I guessed 2.5 million square miles, just because I have really no idea. And I know it's pretty big, so I said it's the fifth largest.
Australia is 2,941,300 square miles. So you have made the cut just barely, Neil. Kels, you get the bonus points. It is indeed the sixth largest country on Earth.
I always knew Dr. J was clutch.
He totally is. So at the end of round 1, Neil, what are the scores?
Kels has 17 and Neil has 40.
And that makes this what, Neil?
It's anybody's game.
Right.
Truly it is.
Well, we are now going to talk about, for category 2, Australian government and politics.
Oh,
I know. If you'll recall, I did this when we did the Canada show, and it seems to trip people up, but I like to let folks know that, we here in the States know that other governments exist and function in different ways than ours does, and it's okay.
well, you're making an assumption that ours actually functions.
That's
Yeah, you really are.
Remember to vote, kids. Question 1. Who is the current Prime Minister of Australia? And I'll throw in a little hint. He is very, very new. I believe he became Prime Minister in August of this year.
I'm locked in.
Okay.
All right, I'm locked in with a minister.
Well, I want to hear who this minister is, Kels.
I put Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Okay. Neil, what do you have?
As soon as you said I locked in with the minister, I was like, he put Paracon down. I knew it.
I love that you know me, Neil.
That's wonderful.
I said Smith.
Okay.
Agent Smith?
Just any Smith.
Well,
Will?
The current you're both wrong. I know it's a shock, but the current Prime Minister of Australia is a man named Scott Morrison. The trivia nugget I'd like to present to you guys is he is the third Prime Minister since 2013. So there has been a bit of a tumultuous time in the Australian government lately.
What's going on down there?
Well, there's certain, much like we're dealing with here, there's certain elements of the right wing that disagree with the base of their party, which in a governmental system like Australia has means you need a coalition, and it appears that Scott Morrison was the compromise pick to be the Prime Minister. Question number 2. Australia is a member of the Commonwealth, with Queen Elizabeth II at the apex of the political structure as Queen of Australia. What is that political structure? In other words, what type of government does Australia have?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in. I'm not sure if it's what you're asking, but I'm locked in with something.
Okay. So, Neil, what do you got?
I put down parliamentary monarchy.
Okay.
But I don't think I spelled parliamentary correctly. I feel like there's an A that I'm missing somewhere.
Well, there are three.
Just throw
A's.
it in there somewhere.
There are 3 A's in parliamentary.
I only got 2. So if that's going to count against me, I just want to let you know.
No, it just counts against yourself for the knowledge that you did indeed misspell the word.
Okay.
Which is more painful than losing points sometimes.
Not really.
Okay.
Nah, not so much.
Kels, what did you put down?
Uh, Something similar, I think. I went with constitutional monarchy.
Well, the fun part of this answer is you're both right. The
Oh,
specific form of Australian government is a federal parliamentary constitutional monarchy.
Okay.
I got some of those words.
So I'm going to give you both points because the monarchy of Australia is very unique to Australia. And I have a wonderful trivia nugget about it because I thought it was so interesting.
Well, lay it on us.
Well, the monarchy of Australia is a form of government in which a hereditary king or queen serves as the nation's sovereign. Australia is governed under a form of constitutional monarchy, largely modeled on the Westminster system of parliamentary government, while incorporating features unique to the Constitution of Australia. The present monarch of Australia is Queen Elizabeth II. She is represented in Australia by the Government General in accordance with the Australian Constitution. In each of the states, the monarch is represented, by a governor appointed directly by the Queen on the advice of each of her representative state governments. So she has a more direct influence on the Australian government. It's pretty cool. Question number 3. Australia has a mild two-party system, meaning there are a variety of political parties that have representatives in Parliament, but the bulk of said representatives come from two dominant parties. Name one of these two for full credit. So I just want one of the two to give you all 10 points. If you name them both, I'll give you a bonus 2 points.
I'm locked in.
Neil's pondering. I like when I can make you guys ponder. I feel like I'm doing my job.
I'm locked in.
Neil, what do you got?
Put Labor and Conservative.
Kels, what do you got?
Well, it took everything in me to not write House, but I also wrote down Labor and Conservative.
You each get 10 points. The correct answers, it is the Australian Labor Party, and the other party is known as the Liberal National Coalition.
Yeah.
The LNC?
No, Liberal National, I think. They actually just shorten it to Liberal.
Oh.
Question number 4. Final question in Australian government and politics. Is Australia a G7 nation?
I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
Kels?
I put yes.
Neil?
I don't think it is.
Neil would be correct. I will throw out some bonus points if someone can tell me where their economy ranks internationally.
15th.
Okay. Kels, you got an answer?
I'm going to go with Tiny Archibald on this one and say 10th.
Well, you bracketed it. It was 13th.
Man, I should have went with Wilt. I knew it.
You should have gone with Wilt. Never go wrong with Wilt.
Yeah.
At the end of round 2, Neil, what are our scores?
Kels has 37. Neil has 70. Anybody's game.
And what does that make it?
A what?
Anybody's
70.
Anybody's game.
Is it all right if I don't show up after halftime? I sprain my ankle.
You twist your ankle. Well, I'm thinking you might feel better about category 3. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, thanks for that.
I'm not sure. Category 3 is music.
Okay.
And much like the Canadian episode, I will name 3 hit songs by a popular Australian artist. You guys name the artist. Okay?
Please tell me Jay-Z's from Australia. What? He grew up in Sydney, so please let that be a fact that was left out.
Well, you know, Brooklyn is one of the 5 boroughs of Sydney, so
it's a big borough.
Big borough. A Kappa borough. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Question 1. The Locomotion, Can't Get You Out of My Head, Love at First Sight.
I'm locked in. I don't know about the other two songs, but I'm pretty confident about the one in the
That's
middle.
fine. I was pretty confident about the first one, and I'm locked in.
Kels?
I believe it was Cammy from Street Fighter herself, Kylie Minogue.
Neil?
I remember a long time ago hearing Kylie Minogue do a cover of Locomotion, so I went with that.
It was her first big hit in the United States. Kylie Minogue is correct with The Locomotion, Can't Get You Out of My Head, which is a spectacular music video. Pinnacle of the art form.
Can't Get You Out of My Head?
Yes, sir. And Love at First Sight.
That was a pretty good video.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
It was released off of the same album as Can't Get You Out of My Head. It's a good song.
Oh, okay. That's a pretty catchy song, though.
Oh, my goodness. Question 2. Who can it be now? Down Under. Overkill.
Locked in.
Oh, I think this is right. Locked in.
Okay, Kels, what do you think?
I'm hoping it's Men at Work.
Neil?
It was Men at Work.
It was indeed Men at Work. Question 3.
Neil, this doesn't really help me if you're getting these right, too. So I'm going to need you to take a bit of a dive to keep the listeners involved.
In the 5th, your butt goes down.
Well, you know what, Kels? You're gonna bet
The night of the fight.
you're gonna bet everything at the end, and I'm not, and you're gonna beat me. So it'll all work out.
Yeah, because when you double 49, I don't think you get to 180. But we'll try.
Question number 3. All Out of Love, the one that you love, Here I Am.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm locked in.
No, I'm locked in.
Okay. Neil, what do you have?
The only one I recognize is All Out of Love, and if it's a song I'm thinking, then it's Air Supply. I didn't know they were Australian though, but that was my answer.
Kels?
If it's Air Supply, I got this solely because of an SNL sketch with Will Ferrell and Chris Kattan playing the two guys. It's hilarious, so I'm going with Air Supply.
It is Air Supply. They are indeed Australian. Final question in music. Chandelier, Elastic Heart, Unstoppable.
Could you sing any of these?
Badly.
I would take that better than what I got rolling around in my head.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm locked in.
Neil has expressed some doubt, Kels. This is your chance.
I think she's from there. If this is even by a woman, but I'm locked in. I have no idea.
Wow. Neil.
I was kind of torn between two, both of which are probably wrong, and I ended up with Olivia Newton-John, but I'm not familiar with any of those songs.
Well, she is definitively Australian. Because I saw Grease. Kels.
I went with Olivia Newton-John, and now it's confirmed that she's at least Australian. So
She
at
is
least
Australian.
I'm in the ballpark with this.
Indeed. You're on the right continent. The correct answer is Sia.
She's Australian?
She is Australian.
Who's Sia?
Amazing. She's a really, really good singer. Her shtick is she wears wigs so you don't see her face.
Never see her face.
And her music videos feature a young girl named Maddie Ziegler, who is an amazing dancer, who is basically her. And her music videos are really, really interesting. So I would recommend looking up Sia, S-I-A, and checking out some of her stuff. It's really good. Neil, what are the scores here at halftime?
At halftime, the scores are 67 for Kels and 100 for Neil.
Anybody's game.
This ankle is really bothering me, dude.
You tape it up. We're going to tape it up, give you some treatment. You come out strong in the second half.
I'm going to have to Kirk Gibson the second half.
You will. You may have to limp around the bases, but you'll be all right. So if you're enjoying the show and enjoying listening to all this fascinating Australia talk,
I am enjoying it.
Check us out on Twitter. I'm glad, Neil. So why don't you check us out on Twitter and see what else we have to say? You can leave us suggestions, comments, some questions even. We'll do our best to answer them. We try. We're also on Facebook. We have some email addresses that I'll mention at the end of the show, but you can email us directly if you have something you want us to do a show topic about. And we have a Patreon, just in case you want to throw a few ducats our way so that we can achieve our dream of petting koala bears in Australia.
That would be fun.
I would love to pet a koala, except they apparently have horrible diseases.
Oh, well, why didn't you tell me that before I said that would be fun?
Well, I
felt like you led me down a very terrible path.
I didn't want you to be deterred by the incurable chlamydia, okay?
The persistent
chlamydia. Didn't want you to be, is it chlamydia or gonorrhea? Neil, you may need to edit that part out. Well, I think this next category, I should say, may lean more toward Kels than Neil. Category 5 is actors and actresses.
I got a chance.
A palpable sound of disgust from Neil.
Unless these same actors and actresses popped up in those books that he read, I might have a chance.
Well, we're going to do this in a similar fashion to the music category. I will list 3 actors or actresses.
Okay.
2 of them are Australian, 1 of them is not. You need to tell me which one is not. Are we clear?
Sure.
We all clear.
All right, question 1. Eric Bana, Jeffrey Rush, Russell Crowe.
I'm locked in.
Kels.
I went with Academy Award winner Jeffrey Rush.
Neil.
I'm pretty sure the last one was. The other 2 is a toss-up. I'm not even really sure who they are, so I went with Eric Bana.
The correct answer is Russell Crowe.
Where's Russell Crowe from?
New Zealand.
Oh. Okay.
Eric Bana and Jeffrey Rush are both Australian.
I did not know that.
Russell Crowe is from New Zealand.
Huh. I've learned something today.
Well, I hope you learn more.
I'm going to keep at it.
Question 2. Toni Collette, Kate Winslet, Rose Byrne.
I'm locked in.
Might as well have a 3-sided coin to flip.
That's called a triangle.
I went with Kate Winslet. I'm sorry, Academy Award winner Kate Winslet.
Academy Award winner Kate Winslet. Neil?
Rose Byrne?
The correct answer is Kate Winslet.
Yay.
Kate Winslet is from Great Britain.
Dun, 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 dun.
Number 3. Tom Hiddleston, David Wenham, Ben Mendelsohn.
I've heard of
Neil feels like you made up at least 2 of those.
I do. I don't know who they are.
David Wenham played Faramir.
I'm locked in.
Okay.
In The Lord of the Rings. And Ben Mendelsohn was the bad guy in Rogue One and the bad guy in Ready Player One and the bad guy in probably 3 other movies.
Is he the new what's his name? Michael Ironside? Like he never plays a good guy.
He's not as imposing as Michael Ironsides, but he's good.
Well, no one is, except for Mr. T.
I wonder if he played the bad guy in any movies I saw.
I can't help if you didn't see Ready Player One or Rogue One.
So he was Krennic?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm locked in.
So, Neil, you're locked in. What is your answer?
Mendelsohn.
Kels, you're locked in. What is your answer?
I went with Thor's little brother, Tom Hiddleston.
The correct answer is Tom Hiddleston. He is from Great Britain.
Dun, 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 dun.
Question 4.
Kel's getting a little bit cocky here, isn't he?
No,
He's
I really like
feeling
that
himself.
song. Oh
You
yeah,
like Hail Britannia?
I mean, it worked for the British Bulldog. It was his theme.
Well,
I'm a wrestling theme guy.
okay, I gotcha. Question number 4. Abby Cornish, Naomi Watts, Portia de Rossi.
I know one for sure is Australian.
I'm locked in.
I've never heard Portia de Rossi outside of Arrested Development. So
I know her from 2 shows.
what's the other one?
She was on Ally McBeal.
She was on Ally McBeal.
Does she have an accent?
She's also Mrs. Ellen DeGeneres.
Yes, she is. I don't know Abby Cornish at all. I've heard that name, but I'm not sure if I know her work.
Was in Sucker Punch. She was and she was also in the remake of RoboCop. She was RoboCop's quote unquote widow.
Okay. I got something down. I'm locked in.
Neil, are you locked in?
Sure.
Well, what are you locked in with then, Mr. Grumpy Butt?
The one actress that I was familiar with in that list is Portia de Rossi, and the 2 things I've seen her in, she doesn't have a strong Australian accent. So either she's a good actress or not Australian, or maybe she was just born there. I don't know. But that's what I went with.
Portia de Rossi.
Yes.
Okay. Kels.
Not knowing Abby Cornish really did me in. I know Naomi Watts is from Australia. So I went with Portia de Rossi.
The correct answer is Naomi Watts.
What? She
was born in Great Britain.
Did she grow up in Australia?
She spent some time in Australia. Yes. And she lived in Australia, but she was born in Great Britain.
Wow. Well, I made up a little ground.
You did.
Neil, how much ground did Kels make up?
He made up 20 grounds.
That's a lot of grounds.
Which brings our score to 87 grounds to 100 grounds.
So it's anybody's ground.
It really is.
No one owns the ground.
Well, our final category before the big finale is science and nature.
Except that there's 2 more categories.
Yeah, it's 2 more categories.
Are there 2?
There should be.
Yeah.
Yes, there are 2. There are 2. Edit that, please. Our next category is science and nature.
Oh, no.
I know you hate that.
Is it a oh no for me because you're going to kill this one? And all my little confidence just gets, like, jolly stomped?
Yes.
Okay.
He's licking his chops. Question 1. Are marsupials exclusively Australian?
Locked in.
I'm locked in.
Neil?
No. False.
Kels?
I wrote no because I thought it would be like a trick, like a gotcha question. So I wrote no.
I was kind of shooting for a little bit of a gotcha question, but you both evaded my clever trap. So the correct answer is no. They are not exclusively Australian. Neil, can you tell me which marsupial is not Australian?
Opossums.
Opossums.
Yay.
Question 2. Uluru, or as it was formerly known, Ayers Rock, is one of the great natural wonders. Within 250 feet, how tall is Uluru? And bonus points if you can tell me what kind of geological formation it is and what it is made of.
Sort of locked in. I'm not sure what you mean by what kind of rock it is.
That's literally what I mean. What type of rock is Ayers Rock made of?
But it sounds like there's two parts, though.
It is. Ayers Rock is a specific type of geological formation. And I will give you bonus points if you can tell me that specific geological formation.
I'm locked in.
Okay. Neil, you locked in first. What have you got?
I know it's pretty darn tall, and it kind of sits right out in the middle of a vast flatness. I'm gonna just take a stab at about 3,000 or 3,000 feet. And I know it's made out of sandstone. And since it's a single rock out there all by itself, I don't know if this is what you're looking for, but I put monolith for the type of formation, which means single rock.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Kels, what have you got?
I wasn't sure how tall it was at all. So I just said like 1,200 feet, and
Okay.
I went with sandstone because I think it's a lot of dirt, sand, just work.
Sand.
And as far as shape, I went with rock shape. It's
Well,
a
you're not
rock
wrong, but
formation.
that's not what I'm looking for.
Fair
The
enough.
height of Uluru is 1,142 feet.
Whoa. All right.
Kels.
I got one.
So, Kels, you got that correct.
Yay.
It is sandstone. There's feldspar, different types of sandstone. I'm looking for sandstone.
Okay.
So you both got you got 2 bonus points for that. And the formation the type of formation it is an Inselberg.
Inselberg.
Which translates literally to island mountain. It is a prominent, isolated residual knob or hill that rises abruptly from and is surrounded by extensive and relatively flat erosion lowlands in a hot, dry region. So it looks really, really tall because everything around it is flat, utterly flat. But it's not as tall as you think. I always thought of it as being very, very tall as well, but it's ultimately not that tall.
So to summarize, Kels got 12 points and I got 2.
You got 2. All right, question number 3 in Science and Nature. The first Australian to win a Nobel Prize was Howard Florey in 1945. He shared the prize in medicine with Alexander Fleming and Ernst B. Chain. What was his contribution? I.e., what did he win the prize for?
Oh, not specifically what was he as part of the team, but what did the team win for?
What the team went for?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll take what the team won.
I'm locked in.
Okay. I have a hint, but
Well, I'll take it.
do you mind if I give the hint, Neil, or shall I hold
Well,
off?
since Kels is within 3 points of me right now, I don't want him to have a hint.
Oh, you
That's-
cheeky bastard.
I know the answer to this.
I feel like I do too, but I know. Why do I know Fleming?
Wasn't she a figure skater? That was Peggy, wasn't it? Oh no, he wrote James Bond, right?
James Bond.
It's Ian. It's
Oh,
Ian.
Well, gee, maybe I got it wrong. I thought he won the Nobel Prize for James Bond.
Oh, okay. I'm locked in. I think this is him.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go with Neil because he's very sure of himself.
Ian, Ian Fleming, Alexander, Alexander Fleming, I know is one of the co-discoverers of penicillin. So that's what I went with.
Ooh. Oh. Oh yes. Yes. Okay.
Let me
If you
take a
hadn't
wild
noticed,
guess and
if you hadn't
and
noticed,
say that. Yeah, I think. Did you get that answer, Kels?
I went with discovering penicillin.
You are both correct. He was one of the 3 members of the team that discovered penicillin. My hint was it literally changed the world and saved an estimated 200 million lives.
Who did smallpox?
Smallpox was
Who discovered the
Salk.
vaccine?
No, he was Salk. Salk was
Salk, Jonas Salk.
was he
Okay,
polio?
Yeah,
He was
Salk was
Jonas
polio.
Salk was polio.
Okay,
I don't know
Hang on,
smallpox.
hang on.
okay, because that's what I was thinking
Jenner.
at first. Okay, whew, dodged a bullet. Okay, continue on, sir. I'm sorry.
Final question in Science and Nature. The Great Barrier Reef has recently come under threat from climate change and pollution. It is the largest living thing on Earth, and it can be seen from space. So this is a 2-part question. Might be a little complicated.
Okay.
Here we go. For 5 points, within 500, how many individual reefs make up the Great Barrier Reef? For another 5 points, within 25,000 square miles, what is the area over which the Great Barrier Reef spreads?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Neil?
I know it's massive. It stretches for like 1,000 miles or something like that. And so I guessed 200 or 2,000 individual reefs. And for the square mileage, I figured if it's 1,000 miles and maybe 10 miles wide on average, then that would be 100,000.
Okay. Kels?
I went with 2,400 individual reefs, making Voltroning it up and being all great.
Yeah.
And I went a little high for the square mileage. I said 250,000 square miles.
The Great Barrier Reef is composed of 20 so we're going to just leave it at this number, 2,900 individual reefs. So Neil, you said 2,000?
Yep.
And Kels, you said how many?
2,400.
So you got it right by the skin of your teeth.
Dang, Kels.
Yeah.
And
lucky guessing my patoot off.
And the square mileage that it covers, the area, is 133,000 square miles. That was not within your guess, Neil, was 100,000. Is that correct?
Right.
You missed the cutoff by 8,000 square miles. And you overshot, Kels.
By a lot.
By a bit. So at the end of that round, at the end of round 5, Neil, what are the scores?
Kels has 129 and Neil has 122.
Ooh.
Anybody's game.
Anybody's game. Well, this last category is a fun one. It's Australian slang.
Oh boy.
So I am going to give you a term, and if you need me to, I have a sentence I can use it in, and then you give me what it means.
Okay.
So what I'll say the term first. You guys tell me if you want the sentence before you lock in, and then I'll give you the answer. Sound good?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Term 1, macas. Would you like a sentence?
Yes, I would.
Sure.
Let's head over to Macca's for a bite.
Locked in.
Yeah. Also locked in.
All right, what do you got?
McDonald's.
Neil?
Mickey D's.
Mickey D's is correct. In fact, on their advertising and signage, it doesn't say McDonald's, it says Macca's in Australia.
Huh. We should clarify.
So what does McDowell say?
We should clarify for our Australian our Australian listeners that Mickey D's is the slang for McDonald's in the U.S. We didn't know.
It is indeed. Yes. It just didn't even occur to me to do that, Neil. Thank you. Of course, Mickey D's. I get my Big Mac at Mickey D's. Question 2. Bludger. Bludger.
Use it in a sentence, please.
Mm-hmm. If he wasn't such a bludger, he'd have gotten his chores done by now.
I'm locked in.
I believe that would be both of us locked in.
Okay. Neil, what do you have?
From my initial thought was something along this lines, and then your sentence kind of confirmed it. It's a lazy person.
Okay. Kels?
I wrote down slacker.
That is acceptable as a lazy person. You are both correct. This next question is pretty ubiquitous. Even in America, we know what this term generally means, so it's kind of a freebie. Sheila.
Locked in.
Can I get this one in the sentence?
Check out that Sheila.
I'm locked in.
Neil.
A female human.
Kels.
I went with a lady.
Correct answer is a female human lady. Our final question before the wager of doom. Bottle-o.
I'm locked in.
Bottle-o. Could I hear it in a sentence?
No, you did that last time.
Do you object, Neil?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Bottle-o. Let's stop at the Bottle-o on the way to the party.
All right, I'm locked in.
Neil.
An alcohol store.
Kels.
I went with a bar.
The correct answer is a alcohol store, a place that sells, well, it's called different things in different countries. In America, it's called a liquor store.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a bar per se. It's a place you go to pick up booze to take with
home. You. Gotcha.
Take home. Yes. So before we enter the final wager of death and doom and destruction and all those things, Neil, can we have the scores?
Did I get credit for that for alcohol shop?
You absolutely did.
Okay. In that case, the final score is an extremely close 159 for Kels and 162 for Neil.
Oh my goodness. Dead heat. Virtual dead heat.
Wow. 3-point game.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, if you recall, Neil, I believe you were there. I don't know if Kels was. This will be a very similar question to a Canada episode that we did. The topic, the final question, is all about Australian cities.
I'm locked in with my wager.
I'm locked in with my wager.
Excellent. The final question. What are the top 10 most populous cities in Australia? You will receive full credit should you answer 7 of the 10 most populous cities in Australia. While Kels and Neil are pondering, I would like to thank all of our listeners in Australia for listening to our little show in Arkansas, USA. And we hope you continue, and I hope that the questions I have written have done your wonderful nation some justice.
I'm locked in.
Okay.
I surprised myself by naming 10 cities in Australia.
Well, I can't do that. I'm
impressed. I don't think I could have before I did the research.
Well, I'm pretty sure I know all the state capitals, so that's 6. And then one of the two of the territory capitals, but I don't know if they're all the biggest.
All right, I'm locked in.
Okay. I am going to read the answers. You sing out if you have them. I'm going to read it in order of population from most to least.
Okay.
In case you were curious. In 2017, Sydney was the largest city in Australia with a population of just a titch over 5 million.
Got it.
Got it.
Number 2, with 4.8 million, is Melbourne.
Got it.
Got it.
Number 3, pretty big drop off, 2.4 million, Brisbane.
Got it.
Got it.
Just over 2 million is Perth.
Got it.
Got it.
1.3 million, Adelaide.
Got it.
Got it.
Then a big drop off to 693,000, Gold Coast.
Got it.
Don't got it.
With 491,000, Newcastle.
Nope.
Don't got it.
With 447,000, the capital, which was
Canberra.
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 I got that one. Thanks to Neil.
With 375,000, Sunshine Coast.
Is that a town?
Don't got it.
That is a town. I know.
Sounds like
I know.
Sounds like a song.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd heard of Gold Coast before, but not Sunshine Coast.
And number 10, with just under 300,000, is a name I am going to butcher, and for our Australian listeners, I apologize. Wollongong.
Got it.
You got Wollongong?
No, I didn't get Wollongong.
I was about to say, come on, man.
Well, I remember reading this book on Australian geography when I was waiting for Thai food in Baltimore.
Oh.
So how many do you have, Kels?
I have a lowly 6.
Oh. Neil?
I have exactly 7.
Wow. Was it the Gold Coast that put you over the edge?
It was. Because I think the others were all the others were all capitals, I think. Sydney, Melbourne,
They are all
Brisbane,
capitals.
Perth, Adelaide, yeah. So I also had Hobart, Darwin, and then the other one was Cairns.
Well, Kels, for you wrestling nerd, a fellow wrestling nerd, Tony Storm is from Gold Coast.
Really?
Yeah, she's pretty good. She's from Gold Coast. That's the only reason I knew it existed on the planet until I did this research.
I'd heard that before, but I didn't know where Gold Coast was. Like, I would put it like in Africa. It's just because there's an Ivory Coast there too.
Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kels, you were unsuccessful in getting 7 cities. What did you wager?
I wagered a grant, so I put 50 on it.
50. Which means his total is what, Neil?
109.
109. Neil, you were successful in naming 7 cities.
I was.
What did you wager?
Well, I assumed that Kels was going to bet it all like he has in the last few games. So I bet 1 or 2 points above that to make sure that if we both got it right, that I would win.
Oh,
so
goodness.
I ended up wagering 160, which
Ooh.
brings my total to 322.
Ooh.
322, which is not your record. It's close, but not your record.
Knocking on the door.
So, Neil, you're the proud winner of today's Australia game and the proud holder of the top 2 scores in Brain Ladle history.
Wow.
Congratulations.
You must be very proud.
I am. And now I want to go visit Australia even more.
Yeah. Go to the Gold Coast. They won you some accolades.
They did. While I will go visit Wagga Wagga. So, or Wagga Wagga, however you pronounce it. because that's where that's
Wollongong.
no. Well, there's this. I'm pretty sure there's a city in Australia by the name of Wagga Wagga.
Well, if any of our Australian listeners can tell us on the Twitter at Ladle Brain if there is indeed a city called Wagga Wagga, we would be very appreciative. You can also check us out on Facebook. You can check us out with our individual web interfaces known as email addresses. We have Kels at brainladle.com. We have Neil at brainladle.com. And we have Davo at brainladle.com. We also have a website, brainladletrivia.com. And we have a Patreon. Check it out. See what you think. Throw a few bones our way. You might get a coffee cup. So from everybody here in Arkansas, USA, this is Davo with Neil.
So I want to know from our Australian listeners, I've heard, I don't know that I want to go to the Gold Coast because I've heard that Queenslanders are crazy. And so I'm a little bit nervous to go there. I'd like some confirmation on that, please, before I plan my trip.
Okay. Kels.
Don't be a bludger. Visit your mother.
Signing off.
The preceding podcast was presented by Brain Ladle Productions. All rights reserved.
Yeah, it was a good groove, man. Oh, Neil died.
No!
No! It was the gonorrhea that got him.